Well, it is Monday. If it's Monday and it's 9 o'clock, it is Mondays in the meditation room with Dr. K. Welcome, everybody, as you join us either on Facebook or YouTube. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So if you are joining us, please don't hesitate to say hey, to say hello, to say happy Monday, even though it's Monday evening. This is Mondays in the Meditation Room with Dr. K for Midlife Musings, where enlightened women gather in this sacred and safe place for us to just kind of have a conversation about what it means as we redefine this amazing season of our life, which is midlife, where we are rediscovering the joy of being us. This is not a midlife crisis, but midlife revelation as we come to know who we are in this amazing time in our lives. Well, hello, everybody. Hey y'all. Say hello to your sisters. I'm so excited. Today, we're listening to Just Do You by India Ari. I love this song. I love the lyrics. What you waiting for? Who you waiting for? If you don't take a chance, you'll never know what's in store. Just do you. Somebody got to be a star. Somebody got to raise the bar. Woo! Somebody got to change the pace, turn the page. And this is my favorite part. If you create the game, then you create the rules. And if you just be you, there's no way you can use, right? Y'all to get this on, download it, pump it in your ear, pump it in your heart, pump it in your spirit. I love that she said there's a story waiting for you to write it. There's a treasure waiting for you to find it. There's a picture waiting for you to paint it. There's a dollar waiting for you to make it. So what you waiting for? Who you waiting for? If you don't take a chance, you'll never know what's in store. Isn't that powerful? Just do you. Somebody got to be a star. Why not you, right? Somebody got to raise the bar. Why not you? I feel like Kirk Franklin now, y'all. Just do you today. Yeah. I love it, and it's the perfect song for our time and our topic on today. Just do you. We're continuing on our journey to midlife wholeness, having our conversations. I want to thank my girl Subi, my cousin Sonia, for joining me on last week. Wasn't that awesome, y'all? Dealing with integrity and fidelity to yourself, being loyal to yourself. Woo! It was phenomenal. So they're in the room on tonight. So thank y'all. I'm so glad. I'm so glad. So I promised myself I won't keep you guys long on tonight. How y'all like my shirt? I'm gonna stand up on my meditation chair just so you can see it. My youngest daughter bought it for me because she knows my shiro, right, is Harriet Tubman, right? You know, if people say you can have a spirit animal, right? For me, it's the Black Panther. I love the sleekness of the panther. That's my spirit animal, right? That's my story. I'm sticking to it, right? But the woman, the spirit of Harriet Tubman is just, I just resonated so much. And so she bought me this sweatshirt. And I said, I'm going to put this on tonight. Just been kind of a chill day. We're kind of taking some downtime last week and this week. And I just felt that I wanted to put this one on, especially right, since it shows her gun, it says "We out," Harriet Tubman, right? I said, this is the perfect shirt to wear on tonight because we're out. We are leaving raw, stale, fearful thinking, unconscious thinking, right? We're out. We're leaving that, right? And so tonight we're talking about, as a part of our conversation on the journey to wholeness, right? And let me stop and say, parenthetically, when we're talking about wholeness, we're not talking about perfection. We're talking about growing into and embracing who you are, right? Because wholeness, right, it says nothing missing, nothing lacking, those types of things, right? Then that we're talking about not you're not lacking anything, that you know you are enough, not that you haven't been through anything, not that you haven't had any traumatic experiences in your life, not that you have not experienced loss, right? We're talking about taking your life as it is, seeing it, celebrating, and then going for more if you want more. That's what wholeness is, not perfection, but progression and growing and evolving. Right? That's what we're talking about. So, hey, everybody who's just joining, come on in here, Lighten Women into the tribe on tonight. And I just wanted to keep it moving because I promised, right, myself and you that we wouldn't stay long. So tonight we're talking very briefly about our journey to midlife wholeness. And we're calling it a journey. Why? Because it absolutely is. Wherever you are on that journey, if you are 45 and older, 50 and older, 60 and older, you're in this journey of self-discovery, of rebirth, reinvention, right? Creating the life. You are crossing that threshold into a different place mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. You are giving birth to the woman you've always been, because I was just thinking about the term that we usually use, about finding yourselves. We really are rediscovering ourselves. That's why the title to my book was Enlightened Woman, the Enlightened Woman, right? Inspirations and reflections to rediscover the joy of being you in midlife and beyond. Because it's not like you're gonna become some dramatically different person. Some people may, but what you're going to do is unearth and rediscover the you've always been, right? That person that God made and knit together in your mother's womb, with all of who you needed to be who you need to be, was already in there. What happened for us is the world conditioned that comfort and greatness out of us by trying to make us conform and contort ourselves to fit into a mold and a box that we weren't intended to fit into, those roles that have been pre-described for us as women, and in particular Black women, right? And so to do all the things we need to do to be accepted, affirmed, confirmed, and loved, right? And so we out, right? We're not trying to get people to affirm, confirm, approve of, right, or love us, because we already are. The moment we were born and took our first breath, God said, that is my intention for my daughter to be in the earth. Then you are accepted, affirm, confirm. We were not taught to hold on to that, and some of the circumstances around our birth, our early experiences, our trauma, those moments of challenge and rejection, all of that, it formed a consciousness and a way of thinking. But when you get to midlife, can I tell you, God knew exactly what God is doing. Your brain begins to rewire your life. You are prepared to begin to put yourself first. So that's what this space is about, is that we would journey together while we're doing that. Yes, yes, and yes. Somebody say yes. I absolutely love it. So we're talking about our journey to midlife wholeness, grace, the grace and power of authenticity. Normally, I would go to the dictionary to look that up, but I was like, Holy Spirit, just download something for us for tonight to work with. Authenticity, and why that is so important for us in this season in our lives, is to be authentic, real, right? And so I want to offer this to you, that authenticity is the courage to show up as you are. Woo. We could just stop right there. It's just and can I tell you that certain things hit you differently when you've experienced life, you've lived a little bit and you're in midlife, hearing certain things you may have heard before or heard all your life, or just something that you might hear it even for the first time, but when you're in this season in your life, it hits you differently, right? So for our purposes for tonight, the definition for authentic is the courage to show up as you are. Mm, Not trying to fix it, not trying to sugarcoat it, not trying not now I'm not talking about being rude or nasty or mean or anything. And because we talked about walking in the fullness of who we are, showing up in all of our glory, right? But authenticity is the courage to show up as you are and be okay with it. That's why in this season, it is imperative that we do the inside work, that we do some reflection on our life's journey and our experiences and where it has brought us and how it has affected us. And if what we're doing, if the story we're telling ourselves, if the thoughts we are thinking are not serving us, are not causing us to have more joy and more freedom in life, then we need to do more introspection and see where that place, that broken place, where we started arrested development, where we've allowed that negative thinking or somebody else's voice, right, or story or narrative is driving us versus our own. We have to do that work so that we can get to the place where we embrace who we are, right? Our story, and it's not anything to be embarrassed or shamed about, but it's our strength and it's our power so that we show up authentic. The worst thing we could possibly do to ourselves, right? As we talked about fidelity and integrity, is betray ourselves. Mm. Whew, I just felt that in my spirit. The worst thing we can do in this season in our lives is betray ourselves. We are not in control of other people who may be less than trustworthy or who may hurt us, who may have bad intentions towards us. We're not in control of that. It happens. It could break our hearts. It might make us feel bad, right? And what it would do is teach us to back up from that person, right? And that don't mean we have to write everybody off, but we may have to shift how we deal with them. But that's one thing. There's a whole nother thing, right? When we betray ourselves, when we don't allow ourselves to be who we authentically are, right? And to show up as you have to know who you are. Mm, I just got to pause right there. Whew, and take a breath, because so many of us may have been so busy trying to please other people and keep the peace and not rock the boat, um, or try to fit into labels or roles that people set out for us, or prescribed roles that we're supposed to play as first, second, third, fourth child, only child, wife, mother, sister, for whatever those roles are that we've agreed to and been carrying. Sometimes they require you, right, to not be fully who you are in order for them to be comfortable. Well, guess what? After a while, after you live, you really don't have much to lose. Right? But false narratives and stories that other people have placed on you, or that maybe you've even placed on yourself. So, how do you get to know yourself? Spend some time with yourself. Don't be afraid to let yourself grieve if you need to, Celebrate if you need to. Don't be afraid to hear the thoughts you've been trying not to hear, or feel the pain you've been trying not to feel, or feel the sorrow you've not been able to feel, because that's also what happens in midlife. It makes us face ourselves and face our experiences. And then guess what, y'all? When we do that hard inside work and we face ourselves, we get to determine the meaning that we give those things that we have to face, those experiences, and relationships, those necessary endings. There's a book called Necessary Endings. Sometimes the things we have to end are necessary for our health, right? So we have to be okay with feeling those things, because it's not going to be forever, right? It just helps you become your best version of yourself, right? That healed version, that whole version, right? And when we say whole, we're not talking about with not without scars. If that's a part of who you are, you embrace that, you accept that, right, as a part of your life, and find the joy in it and continue to move forward. That's what we're talking about. All right. So I'm watching the time. All right. So there is grace and power in authenticity, because God only gives you the grace to be yourself and not anybody else. That's why it can be so hard if you're looking at somebody else's life and trying to live that, or coveting that, or wanting that, and that's not your life, right? You got to find the joy in your life, right? Because the grace, that ability to stand and withstand that God gives us, the grace you have on your life is to live your life, not anybody else's. The life that somebody else lives, the challenges, the trauma, the mountains, the valleys, right? The accomplishments that they are living is because they have the grace for that. God gives you and graces you with the ability to live your life. So if you find it extremely hard, right? It's harder than it absolutely needs to be. It might mean you're out of your lane, you're out of sync, you're out of alignment, because you're trying to be something that you are not called to be, or is not necessary for you to be for your joy, right? So there's grace and there's power. Ooh, there's that supernatural of strength and ability that is released in you when you are yourself, when you're in the pocket, when you are absolutely flowing in your isness, your being, right? Your gifting, your talents, your anointing, that which God has given you. Yes, there's power in it. It's confidence in it. It's Godfidence in it. When you know that you are absolutely using your gifts, your talents that God has given you to make a difference in the earth, there's a confidence that comes with that. There's a confidence, a level of confidence that comes in midlife as you operate in your thing. Even if you're trying a new thing and you're not sure exactly how to do it, come on, the anointing of God will jump on you and allow you to work through that thing till you learn it, till you get it and you grow it. Whew, that there is grace and there is power in authenticity. Man, oh man. Come on, y'all. Put it in the chat. Say it to yourself. Repeat it to yourself. Make it your mantra that I have the grace and the power for my life as it is right now, and the life that I am creating, because I am showing up as me. Woo. I'm sorry. Just want to dance right there. Because I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that. I'm feeling that, right? Because I'm feeling myself. I know y'all are too. And I'm literally in the midst of this transition spiritually and emotionally, psychologically and physically. I'm shedding some things. I'm growing and accepting and taking on some things. And it has literally been for the last 2 weeks. At any moment, I can be crying. I can be contemplative and a little melancholy. I can feel joyous. I can be happy because I've embraced that I'm riding this wave and going with this flow as I transition, right? I am shedding some things and putting on some things and getting comfortable with myself in this new season and this new moment in my life. Man, y'all, that's that's good news. Tell your sisters, tell the enlightened woman tribe, y'all, that is good news, right? So then you have to have authenticity, which is the courage to show up as you are, your truest, most divine self. Woo! That's the second part of that because you are holy. You are divine. You are divine, holy creation of God, and you are connected to God. Whew. So that's the second part of it is authenticity is the courage to show up as you are, your truest, most divine self. And that's what I love because we're discovering that, we're rediscovering it, right? We're walking in that revelation as we rediscover ourselves because that is who we've always been, right? That confident, clear, focused, right? Joyful woman, and that includes your tears, that includes your anger, it includes all of that is who makes you who you are, right? Your apprehensions, whatever your little idiosyncrasies are, all of that belongs to you. Now, are there some things that may not be serving you well? If you have a chip on your shoulder, if you always mad, if you always think people are out to get you, if you have a victim or sin consciousness that you need to be delivered from, then do the work to manage that. Don't settle for substandard existence because you're afraid to do the work that will cause you to heal. Because being whole doesn't mean you haven't been through anything or you don't have broken places. It means that you are healing or healed. So that's a part of it, so that you can come to your truest, most divine self, so that you won't be second guessing yourself, so that you won't be wishing you had said this or had done this or had tried that. Don't let that rob you of the life that you want to experience because you are absolutely deserving of it, whatever that looks like for you. Because what I might want for my life might not be what you want for yours. And don't let anybody tell you what your life should look like for you. Man. So then the question is, as we prepare to close out for tonight, y'all, is what prevents us from being our authentic self? What are those things? Because sometimes you need to name them and uncover them so that you can deal with it. You know, what prevents you? Do you are you fearful of being rejected? Are you afraid of being alone? Are you afraid of losing certain friendships? Because the truth of the matter is, if you can't show up in your authentic self or as your authentic self, and people are requiring you to be something you're not and they don't accept you as you are, then that's the wrong environment, right? Those are the wrong friends. That's the wrong relationship. If anybody requires that you not be who you are, or you have to hide yourself, if you have to dim your light, or if you have to diminish the fullness of your shine, then those are not the people you're supposed to give your energy and your life force to. Because in midlife, right, and you're looking ahead, we don't know when our last day is going to be, right? It could be any moment, any second, any day, right? And not only that, we're in those years where we may have, depending on where you are in your journey and your life cycle, you may be in that season where you may have more years behind you than in front of you. But the truth is, none of us really knows. So you don't have time to waste. You don't have energy to waste, right? And even with COVID and all of this stuff going around, we really don't know. We're still here by the grace of God. It's not that we're any more special than anybody else who is no longer here. Right? So what do we do with this remaining time that God has gifted us with? Right? We don't want to spend it pretending. Mm, Phew, that hit me right there. We don't want to spend it not being our most truest divine self, right? So what prevents us? Sit down, get quiet, play some soft music or no music, but turn the TV off. Get quiet, quiet that noise in your head and say, if I am not showing up as my truest, most divine self, if I'm not being my authentic self, what is preventing me? What is that roadblock? And go all the way to the end. What's the worst that could happen? And then can you regroup from that? Can you recoup? Can you survive it? If you can survive whatever you think the worst would be, then you good. That's half the battle, right? And then how can we become more authentic? Those are the questions I want you to wrestle with or discuss with yourself or even with a friend, a good girlfriend. Say, what do you see when you see me? What do you think of me? Right? What prevents it? What are those roadblocks? Because we're on a journey, right, to midlife wholeness. Where you're at peace with yourself. Because when you're at peace with yourself, you don't need to have war with nobody else. Because whatever they say or do, you don't have to take it personal. So get peace with yourself so that you don't have to fight anybody else. Woo! Yes, and yes, and yes. Whoo, whoo, whoo. I want the real me, not the fake me. This is no longer the time for that, right? That one that we've accepted, that we're okay with, that we find joy in, the me, right? That I'm not hiding. I don't have to come up with stories to say. So if I mess up, whoop, I messed up, my bad. When I make a mistake, oof, I made a mistake. Please forgive me. Right? That space, right? Where you're not apologizing for your existence. That's the next one we're going to talking about um, giving ourselves permission. Hey, no more apologizing for your existence. Do you know? Because I had a season, where I felt like I was always saying, "Oh, I'm sorry," or "I didn't mean that," or "I'm sorry," or I say too many words that I don't need to. Like I need to fix it up or soften the blow or all of that, right? Because that means I'm unsure of myself and what I'm saying or what I'm doing, right? I don't feel confident in that. You will get to the place where you don't have to fix things up or try to soften the blow or make people comfortable about what you're saying, about what your leadership, about your competence, about your ability, right? Sometimes we say too much, and sometimes we say too much because we're second guessing ourselves or we're not walking fully in the confidence of who we are. Whew, yay. So, as we only have a few more minutes, right? Right. Don't no more apologizing for our existence, because sometimes people are bothered by us. It's not so much that they're bothered by us. I mean, maybe some people are. I don't know why. I ain't do nothing to you, right? I don't know why you bothered by me, but sometimes people are intimidated, or sometimes people, compare themselves to you and feel like, your light shines on them to show them, where they need to be or what they need to do. And they take that out on you and try to make you feel smaller, because that's the only way they can handle the unhappiness that they feel about themselves. So you don't have to, you know, apologize for your existence because somebody else feels bad about theirs. Just be you, because then maybe you will encourage them to rediscover themselves. That's yay. All right. So, just a few things that I want to say to you before we sign off. This may absolutely be the last time I do a Facebook Live like this openly. I'm in the process of um, moving all of the video and all of my property off of Facebook onto my website. Right. So we're transitioning. The first step we're going to do is transition to a private Facebook. So if you want to be a part of the private Facebook group, because I really miss the actual, I love the comments, but missing the interaction where we can come on and we can really be honest and raw, because right now everything is live, right? Because it's on YouTube, it's on Facebook. But, I'm clear that there's some things we really need to get to and talk about, that we may want to do it in the safety of a private Facebook page, right, as we go through it. So if you're interested in being a part of the private Facebook page, please let it be known. Put your email addresses on there if you're okay with that, so that I can keep in touch with you, because we'll be moving not just to the Facebook private page, right, but to a meeting webinar platform, right, so we can kind of see each other. And so in May we're going to start making that transition. So I will let you know if it doesn't happen the first Monday in March. I just want you to know that we're on our way to that transition. Okay, so we're going to be moving to a private Facebook group and start doing things also on a meeting kind of webinar platform coming up in May. Yes, right. Don't forget, if you have not purchased the book Enlightened Woman, make sure you do that. You can find that, right? So I'm putting it so y'all will hear that we're going to be transitioning, right? And then don't forget, if you haven't gotten the book, get it. If you know a sister walking through this season, get it for her, gift it for her, right? Gift it. Right, you can get it on Amazon, or you can go to my website, kellybhayes.global, and get it, but get it. Right. And then I want you to get ready and save the date, because we are looking to do a hybrid, virtual and in-person Serenity experience, a perfectly curated experience and event for women in midlife. We had an amazing time. So we're looking at right now, tentatively, the dates of September 24th and 25th at Wellspring Manor and Spa in Upper Marlboro, Maryland. We are just kind of starting the planning, so more information will come out. But go ahead and save those dates, y'all. For hybrid, you can do it virtual or you can do it in person. And when we do that, you would have to let that be known soon, because it can't be a lot of persons, but you'll be able to do it either virtually or in person. I'm excited about that as we move towards the planning towards that. And then, man, I'm excited. Join me on my journey to 60. I'm going to be doing um, kind of like some live. It's still in progress of what it's all going to look like, but doing some things leading up to my 60th birthday in 2022. I don't know what even tomorrow's going to hold. I don't know what God has in store for me. My prayer is that I would make it, but what I promise myself is that when I get to 60, I want to be in the best shape that I could possibly be, physically, mentally, emotionally, financially, and on my way. So on this year, my birthday is May 24th. We're going to start that journey. And I'm going to take y'all with me as I go through it. Some lives, some traveling, some trying some products and things that they have out there for midlife, just doing some things. And I'm going to be doing a survey soon that I really need your help with, as we really want to talk about the to to really do some things holistically for Black women in midlife. Most of the research around what we go through for perimenopause, menopause, and after really is based on research for white women. And I don't have any problem with that. The products that are coming out, they said by 2025, 1 billion women will be in midlife and dealing with perimenopause or menopause. And that is an amazing opportunity for us. And so stay tuned for that as well. So I'm excited about it, y'all. Hallelujah. So thank you. If you have put your information in, I'll make sure I'll go through and connect it as we prepare to do this transition. And I'm excited. I love y'all. Thank you so much. Let me move that banner. Right. And I'm excited. If y'all have some ideas, right, that you want to see happen for us to try, to experience, to do, I'm going to do some fun things, right? Uh, do some things that's going to challenge my comfort zone as I'm on my way to 60, and I'm excited about it. So make sure you put your email and contact information, because I want to make sure you're part of our private Facebook group. And then when we do our webinar or meeting platforms, I'm not sure which one. I'm just trying to figure out which one is going to be best. I want to make sure you're part of it, and share this Enlightened Woman Tribe with another sister that you know needs it. All right. Have a great night. Y'all know, just take a deep breath in and release it. And say to yourself, I am worthy. I'm worthy. And I am good just as I am. God made me. Just do you, y'all. Just do you. Have a great night, Enlightened Women Tribe. Love y'all. Sweet dreams. See y'all on next week.